And one plant I've been seeing bloom a lot in Appleton, Wisconsin is linden. Oh, yeah. And I'm particularly fond of this plant, and I was super excited to see linden is just ubiquitous, at least from my experience in Wisconsin thus far. Can you speak a little bit to linden?
Yeah, linden is this week's herb of the week. Right now, it's July 2nd as we're recording. We're in the sign of Cancer in the tropical tradition, and Cancer is a water sign. It's the structured water, it's the crab, it rules the chest or the rib cage. And linden is in bloom, so it made perfect sense. It's like very, very intoxicating. Cancer, the crab, is a lunar ruled sign. And linden, as the sun is getting lower in the sky, that's when like the smell and the fragrance really comes out. And it pulls you in all mysterious directions. Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint, where is that smell coming from? We're the herbalists, we're looking around on the ground, but no, it's coming from the sky and coming from above. And little white flowers, sometimes pink, that are growing in what looks like a little canoe or a little boat or a little ark. And I'm really into like astrotheology and all kinds of like the symbolism of like Hermeticism and stuff like that. And so I'm applying all these lessons to the herb of the week. So as above, so below, as within, so without. So here's a plant that is riding on a little boat, and that is to me, that's the constellation Argos, which is inside the Cancer constellation in the sky. So there's the arc, there's the lunar qualities, it's protective to the chest. It has a structured water to it. When you make a linden tea, it makes it kind of viscous and gooey, and that's on part because of it's in the Malvaceae family, the marshmallow family, so it's making things slightly mucilaginous, not super mucilaginous like marshmallow, but enough. And it has that way of working with like softening the chest, having a protective quality. To me, so we've been experiencing Wisconsin down here in Milwaukee and probably up in Appleton too, and a lot of parts of the Midwest and throughout the summer really, the smoke and this like angel of death kind of coming down in and swooping in and making it difficult for people to breathe, and your eyes get itchy and your throat gets kind of scratchy. And I have this adage that I stand by, that nature is providing us with what we need at the time we need it. And right now, linden is in bloom. It's also coming from the sky, and it's like this like answer to help fortify, protect, structure the waters, protect like Cancer the crab does against this smoke that's going on. So I love linden right now for so many reasons, because it's really speaking to me in a cosmological way. It's speaking to me in like as almost like the relationship that I have with my creator. It's speaking to me in a way that I could share this medicine with my community. And so that's one of the herbs of the week of this 52. And so in this lesson, we also talk about medicine making and all kinds of the symbolism of the tree of Tilia and how it's associated with as a world tree, and what does that mean, and things like that.
I like that you brought up the mucilaginous aspect of it. I feel like a lot of times people talk about linden as like, say, a mood enhancer, good for the heart and whatnot. And yeah, maybe the mucilaginous aspects of it are underappreciated. But I will say, I want to say maybe technically it might be in the Tiliaceae right now, but I was going to bring that up. I was like, I'm pretty sure it at least used to be in the Malvaceae, aka the marshmallow family. And I remember the first time I made an infusion out of it, and it was goopy and slimy, and I want to credit my teacher, Missy Rose. She's like, just because you read about something in a book doesn't mean it's correct. You should actually experiment with the herb and see for yourself. And I remember the first time I was like, I'm going to make a cold infusion of Tilia versus a hot infusion of Tilia and see which one's slimier. And I swear the warm one, the hot infusion, was actually a much slimier result, which was really interesting to me, because you always hear about cold infusions and increasing the maximum amount of slime and whatnot. But it was just like, all right, well, maybe in that particular batch it worked out that way. But it was just I really liked that, you should actually experiment with the herb and not necessarily always be learning from books, but from experience alone. And,
right.
But yeah.
Because you just brought up a great point. Yeah. The botanist, sometimes I think they need spankings. Because what are they doing? They're changing the books all the time. All right, well, you change the books. Change the books, because that's what you're saying. Like, the books can be changed. The
Right.
Fahrenheit 451 or whatever, they're going to go burn them all or whatever. And then all we have left is our experience with the plant. And that's what we can pass down. And that is true. You're going to change my experience. You're going to tell me that it doesn't work when in this way, because according to me in my experiment, it actually seemed to be slimier when it was hot. So as you're saying,
and spank them for constantly changing the genus and species and families and stuff like that too. I'm like Tiliaceae. Well, I mean, I'll have to look it up afterwards, but I'm pretty sure that was the last time I checked.
Yeah.
But yeah, Malvaceae makes me remember that it is probably in the marshmallow or slimy, situation. But before we go on to the next plant, did you have anything else you want to say about Tilia?
Yeah, I learned this I think is really cool. So if you go around and see the Tilia or the linden trees, a lot of times they have these ring of suckers that are coming out from them. So you can have a big old tree and these like rings of suckers that are coming out around from them. And imagine this as like a world axis or like a polar axis that is symbolically axis. There's this center and then there's the perimeter. And then after 100 years or something like that, that center axis is going to be hollow. It's not going to be there anymore. It's going to die, and all of those suckers are going to grow and maintain. And then after 100 years, they're going to have a fractal relationship. And so it creates this phenomenon called a linden ring or a linden circle, which is, you can go into a forest sometimes, an arborist taught me this, and you could see what looks like a council of linden trees. And that's why this plant is associated with justice in Germanic tribes. And I think that Tolkien understood this. Wow. And there's like the linden, there's linden parts of his like cosmogony and everything like that that have to do with like the fairies and things like that. And I just think that's really fun to have that imaginational realm. That's something that maybe we don't experience. We could take trees and we could see the seasons, the changing of the seasons, but we don't see these bigger changes. We might see the result of them, and it's really fun. I think it's really fun to like imagine the linden ring and what that means in a poetic and imaginational kind of way.
Every time I hang out with you, you blow my mind in one way or another, so that's, there you go. Hey everyone, this is Mason with HerbRally. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and also go ahead and subscribe. We come out with new herbal content each and every week. If you didn't know, HerbRally also lists Herbalism events. We list Herbalism events chronologically. We list them also by state, so you could just go ahead and search by Oregon or Wisconsin or wherever you live. You could find out what Herbalism events are happening in your neck of the woods. We also list Herbalism events, virtual herbal events. So if you can't make it to an in-person conference or plant walk, we list lots of virtual events as well. To find out more, you could go to herbrally.com/events or herbrally.com/virtual. But if you can help it, I would highly recommend trying to go to an Herbalism conference. Those are some of the best learning experiences I've ever had, and that's where you can find different herbal teachers, and then maybe you could perhaps take their apprenticeship. But yeah, just do what you can. Get out there and learn about the herbs, like yarrow, dandelion, corn, all the above, like all the medicinal herbs. And we'll see you out there. Hope to see you at an herb conference. All right, bye.